What's going on, people? My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. I run a business and I trade my own money. And in today's video, I'm going to actually talk a little bit something different, but also very, very relevant to traders who are both new to the space or experienced. Now, it doesn't really matter how much experience you have, in my opinion, if you don't have trading capital, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how to actually get a significant amount of trading capital so that your trading, the numbers that you actually return, are meaningful. If you make 5% of $1,000, it's very different than if you make 5% of $100,000, right? And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my own story, a little bit of my experience on how I basically got my initial trading capital and some of the things that I did in the real world to get that trading capital up. Okay, so the first thing that I really did when I was younger is I actually started a small little landscaping business. And I think that anybody can do this. Now, it's only really limited to the summertime, but if you're in high school or in middle school, that's perfectly fine because that's when you really have the most time to make this sort of money. Now, even if you're an older person and you're in college or whatever, this is something that you can do. Odd jobs, cutting people's yards, pressure washing, that sort of thing is a great way to get started. I personally built a little small landscaping business when I was a kid, and it actually started to grow and grow and grow, and I saved up money. I eventually paid for my own vehicle, and actually even went on to make enough money to start depositing into a stock market account initially and eventually a Forex market. So my first major business or small kind of side hustle to do in order to make more trading capital would be to start a services business in your local community. Something like, again, a pressure washing business or a lawn mowing business. It's very simple to take, let's say, $200, $300. If you can get that amount of money, get $300, buy a pressure washer and start going door to door, or start calling your neighbors or offering in the local paper or the local website, whatever you can, Facebook, local communities where you can offer your services and start doing work for people, start hustling, putting in the work and making that money. The reason I would say that this is so important is it's very difficult to take a small amount of money in trading and turn it into a very large amount. You see that all the time on social media, but it's very rare that somebody's actually able to consistently and effectively do that in the real world. There's a lot of marketing that goes into making it look like it's really easy so that they can sell you stuff. The reality is it is very, very difficult and not an easy place to make a quick buck. It's actually a better place in my mind to take money that you already have and to grow it over time rather than try and make a ton of new money from nothing. Okay, so again, we need to make that initial capital. My second business or thing that I personally did in my own case to get my trading capital is flip stuff on Craigslist or eBay. So in my own personal case, I used to buy and sell iPhones. So when I was in high school and early college, I would go basically on Craigslist or eBay and I would find different people who were selling their iPhone for X and I would resell it for Y. So let's say that you had an older phone and you were selling it for something like 50 bucks. Well, I would go buy that iPhone from this person. I'd make sure that everything was detailed. I had a checklist that I would go through to make sure that these iPhones were in proper condition for reselling. And then I would resell that $50 iPhone for something like $75 or $100. And I would make a decent return just by playing the middleman, finding things that are undervalued and selling them for appropriate value. Right? And so that is another way that anybody can do that. It doesn't have to just be iPhones. There's different things that you can sell. I know some people who do furniture, right? There's different things that you can buy, you can flip and resell. For me, this is actually where I got most of my initial trading capital, because what I ended up doing is I eventually started reselling, buying and flipping things like golf carts, things like ATVs, things like tractors, right? Heavier, bigger item vehicles and that sort of thing for the yard was something that I got a lot of experience in with my dad's help. We basically were buying and selling pieces off of Craigslist, and I made a decent amount of money. I remember for me in high school at one point, or early college, I believe, we made a deal where we bought something for $4,000, which took me a while to get to that point where I had that capital. But bought something for $4,000 and flipped it 3 weeks later for a $1,500 profit of $5,500. So I made $1,500 in just a few weeks on a $4,000 investment. And that was the power of finding somebody who was selling, basically it was a tractor that was very, very underpriced. Somebody just wanted to get rid of it. They didn't care. They just want to clean out their garage. We bought it from them. We cleaned it up. I scrubbed that thing from top to bottom all over the place, making it as clean as possible, fixed everything that was wrong with it, and resold it for $1 profit. Doing this again and again led to me having my first trading account, which was over $10,000, you know, early, I think it was early college that I did that. And to me back then that was significant, and I've been adding and building to that ever since. The thing about trading is it's like entrepreneurship. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're a trader, they're one and the same. And that if you're gonna have success in trading, you're very likely a very entrepreneurial person. You have to understand that trading takes money to make money. It is not something where you can just start out and make a ton of money. Again, going back to the tractor example, I had $4,000 that I had painstakingly built up from my landscaping business and from flipping other items. I took a big risk and I put it all on that tractor and I resold it, right? So it takes risk, it takes money to make money, and that is no different in the world of trading. So finally, we're gonna hear from Will in just a minute. Will is my editor, so all the content you see here on this channel, he is kind of our master chef, if you will, at keeping all this stuff going. So he's going to talk a little bit about learning your skills, or using your skills to actually make money. So we'll hear from Will now.
All right, what's up everyone? Most of you know me. My name is Will. To those of you who are new to Nick's channel, I am the video editor and social media manager for A1 Trading. So basically, now that you all know I'm a video editor and social media manager, I want to talk about kind of my past and how that has turned into a prominent side hustle and a main piece of my income. So in my freshman year of high school, I was in Future Business Leaders of America, and I was in the sector of media and everything that has to do with video. This was my first time being exposed to video before I ultimately fell in love, and I was like, I have to do this for the rest of my life because I absolutely love it. But I have to be able to get paid in order to, of course, make a living, survive, etc. I really just committed myself to being able to figuring that out. And before I started doing full-time work for Nick here at A1 Trading, I've done numerous freelance work that was ultimately used not only for my bills, but also some of the money that I use, like $100 to $200 a month. I put that into a trading account when I first discovered Nick, and before we started talking, and from there I just started trading that money and just compounding it over time, which Nick also preaches about. A lot of my mindset for trading has came from Nick. So I definitely recommend to you all, whatever your skill is and whatever you've been gifted with, definitely find a way to be able to get paid for doing that and using that money to be able to trade, and pretty much just growing it over time while you're still doing your side hustle. And I just want to say it hasn't been all, of course, sunshine and rainbows during my journey as a filmmaker and video editor. I had to do, before I was even like doing full-time freelance work, before I ultimately started working for Nick full-time here at A1 Trading. So I had to, working at Kroger, working at Publix. I knew I needed money to be able to jump, to be able to find something that was steady for film and video editing. Film and video editing, in all honesty, is one of the toughest services you can do and get paid for it, and to be able to make a living for it. Because not only is it so competitive, but sometimes it's just really hard to get paid what you're worth. And you may experience that for whatever your talent is or whatever you want to do. But what's important is that you know one day you will get paid your worth or even over your worth. But in the meantime, you have to do what you have to do to be able to get into trading, to be able to, you know, really stack up your money, to be able to say, okay, now I saved enough as to where I may not have to go into my odd job. Now I can try to find something that will allow me to do my talents full time, because I've been compounding money in my trading account for so long. So now I'm good. So what's most important from all that I just said in my career and where I'm at now in video editing and film is that you just have to do what you have to do to be able to get where you want to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to set your pride down and kind of just go out there and make money where you can, and then kind of jump from that to something else, and then jump from that into like your dream. Ultimately, if you just keep going and if you keep giving it your all each and every day, you will reach that goal. So keep that in mind, guys. Whatever your talent is, definitely pursue that to be able to make money. But even if that doesn't work, do those odd jobs, such as Nick did in the beginning with landscaping, right? Raking leaves or taking out trash, whatever it may be. Humans need something each and every day that is not extravagant. We just need daily needs, such as our grass cut or taking out the trash. You can tap into that as well. There's always a way to make money out here in the world. That is the beauty of the world we live in. And no matter where you live at, you just sometimes have to get creative and just put your head down and go at it each and every day.